a very small percentage of the field, and everything's always a small percentage of the field in Modern. Yes, he needs some lands, but it's got some cantrips. It's got a Birds of Paradise. It kind of sucks that our first land is a Gemstone Mine, because it kind of puts pressure on us to find lands even faster, but that's what it is. We'll probably lead on Sleight of Hand if we miss a land drop on our draw step, because Sleight of Hand gives us the best chance to find another land. Yeah, but decks don't dominate in Modern like they do in other formats. Like, a deck dominating in Modern is it showing up and having a 10% field representation. Am I supposed to opt here, or am I supposed to cast Birds of Paradise? I think I want to cast Birds of Paradise. I think I want to cast Birds of Paradise rather than hit a guaranteed land. I don't know, that might be wrong. I can see that being wrong. Basic Forest. So Valakut or a Birds of Paradise deck. Kind of Birds deck, probably. Devoted Company. Okay. Hopefully we don't die next turn. Wow, that's unlucky. Holy shit. I mean, all right, got there. Trey, you don't have to argue with people like that. Trey, you go up next to them and you just click the timeout button and you give them 10 minutes to think about what they said. You don't gotta argue with them. You just go up to them and go, shh, good night, my sweet prince, good night. All right, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cast Glittering Wish here and then hope to not die and hope to kill them next turn. Okay, so there's infinite mana. See, our mistake this game was giving them a third turn. Should have killed them on our second turn. Or we missed a land drop, right? So we had a third turn. Nah, Trey, just give them a timeout. Just give them a timeout to think about what they said. If someone says something stupid like Grixis Shadow is objectively the best deck in Modern, just shh. So I'm conceding here because I'm not going to make them click it out. For those that aren't familiar with the opponent's deck, Eternal Witness gets Court of Calling. Court of Calling gets Duskwatch Recruiter. Duskwatch Recruiter lets them loop through their deck and find Walking Ballista to kill us. This is a Path to Exile Abrupt Decay matchup. I think this is a Fatestitcher out matchup, actually. I just like, they're not going to be killing my mana dorks most of the time, so I probably don't need this. Although I guess this is good mid combo. Trim these. I'm going to try and trim these and see how that feels in this matchup. Yeah. Yeah, Cool Mage is also one of our subs. That's Iron Guthix here in chat. Yeah, like that. See? Yeah. don't forget to wipe the blood off your sword afterwards. Don't forget to wipe the blood off. I paid, yeah, exactly. Send your Amazon money this way if you want to troll. Huh. I'm gonna keep this. We get what, 4 looks at a land here. Breeding pool on top, perfect. I'm gonna bottom. Am I gonna bottom the Serum Visions? I'm actually gonna keep that on top, right? Because then we'll draw that the next turn, because on turn 2, I'll go Land Caryatid, and then the following turn, I can go Noble Hierarch, Bird, Serum Visions. I guess you could have made an argument that I'm supposed to put the Serum Vision on top there and then Vision into the breeding pool and set my draw up with the Scries. If my opponent plays Devoted Druid here, we'll Abrupt Decay it. Okay, Walking Ballista is the reason I'm glad I put the Caryatid into play. I'm going bottom here. I'm just gonna play both of these out. I guess I could just kill this. I'm just gonna play these out. They want to like spend their turn paying 4 mana to pump into here. That's fine, I think. Yeah, I agree on that. I think there's going to be a knee-jerk reaction that people are going to play more Artifact Hate in their sideboards. Like, sideboard skewing like that, I think that's a realistic reaction that you could prepare for. But, like people going out and entirely changing decks, I think is pretty unrealistic. No, I'm not going to GP Toronto. Grand Prix are just, like, taking money and setting them on fire. It's a good attack. Get in there 3 points of damage. They could kill. They could trade this for both my mana creatures. Okay. Deal. The Jeskai Ascendancy. I actually can't cast this, which sucks. I'm gonna bottom that, just looking for a land. I guess I cast this, and then we can just cast Ascendancy and then try and combo them next turn. That's true. We can burn tickets from home. They could have a Court of Calling or something here to prevent us from killing them. We're at, I said I am not playing Lantern Indy and I took the donation goal down. Yeah, I mean, if I, like, could tell the future and knew that this was on top of my deck, it'd let me go off. But, like, believe it or not, I can't tell the future. It's weird. It's a problem that I'm working on. At some point, I would like to be able to tell the future. Like to loot, discard this Gemstone Mine, put the Serum Vision on top of my deck. So I have this Glittering Wish already. So our bottleneck. So again, when you start comboing with these decks, your goal is always to identify what your bottleneck's going to be in a given game and then work to break that bottleneck. our bottleneck in this game is going to be cards. So Glittering Wish is really powerful in this deck because in addition to being able to fetch our namesake, our namesake here, it's also able to fetch cards like Scarscale Ritual to generate card advantage for us. This will draw us 2 cards. Well, that's pretty terrible. All right. I mean, there is a world where we brick here. Definitely a world where we brick. It's pretty unlikely, but it could happen. Another Serum Visions. Hopefully we should be good now. Path to Exile. I would love this Nagging Thoughts. So Nagging Thoughts allows us to generate actual card advantage because Nagging Thoughts is a card, since it has Madness, we get to discard it to Jeskai Ascendancy and then still keep it basically because we get to cast it. Mana in response here, untap. You get to loot again. There's an opt on top of my deck. So eventually we loot through our deck. Oh geez, losing a Glittering Wish kind of sucks. It's fine. So at this point, it's kind of just like the writing's mostly on the walls at this point. We're just going to cast a bunch of spells. Our creatures are going to get really large. And then eventually we will use... what's the word I'm searching for? We'll use Glittering Wish to grab the card Flesh Blood to kill my opponent. I also can just path this Vizier of Remedies. Opponent offering to scoop. It's like, yeah, you're definitely dead here. I explained the combo. That's also a good reason. If you're playing a click-intensive deck, there's equity to be gained in not making your opponent click out their combo, because when your opponent's like, all right, I'm dead, they might not make you click out your combo. There's some give and take there. So Flesh Blood is basically a multicolored fling. It makes one of our creatures deal damage equal to its power directly to our opponent. I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. We want mana creatures in our opener to accelerate, and again, the fact that this is a Gemstone Mine on one, I think makes this not good enough. If this was like a fetch land or a green-blue land, I think I'd keep this, but the fact that it's a Gemstone Mine and we don't have a mana creature, I think makes it unkeepable. This hand's better. It needs a Jeskai Ascendancy, which Glittering Wish is, but it's got Path to Exile to interact with my opponent. It's got a Sylvan Caryatid, so it's got a lot of what we're looking to do here. Yeah, weather permitting, I will be in Indianapolis. Weather permitting, I'm going to be in Indianapolis. So if they play Devoted Druid here, I'm going to path it. I'm going to path that one. Yep. Although, yeah, I'm just going to path that. There's merit to not pathing it because then they think they're safer than they are potentially, but I think that's probably too cute. I just don't enjoy playing burn, and there isn't enough money in Magic even when you're winning. Like, with the amount of money Magic pays when you're winning, I would have to think a deck is like 20% better than the rest of the field to create a kind of arbitrary number to make it to be worth playing to me over playing something that I really enjoy. Forgot to update the deck list. Thank you very much. I will do that right now. I appreciate the reminder. If you ever see me forget that, please remind me. There's Devoted Druid, yep. Man, that's annoying. Why are you trying to interact with me, opponent? Abrupt Decay is not a bad draw. I guess I just decay this, right? I can... Well, if I Manamorphose here, I can make green-black with the Manamorphose and decay this, and then I can Glittering Wish for my Jeskai Ascendancy. Yeah, I'm gonna do this to make green-black and kill the Devoted Druid. Hey fellas, thanks for watching. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Welcome to a live night. Kill that. Then I'll go ahead and go get Jeskai Ascendancy here. Then we have another Abrupt Decay to either kill this later or to kill another Devoted Druid if they threaten to combo us. No, I think a lot of the power in the key. You should watch the video we played today and some of the last few videos. It's you want a combo in your deck. You do. You want a combo in your deck. Going a land really sucks there. I'm gonna pass now that they played another Devoted Druid, and if they go to put Vizier into play, I'll kill the Devoted Druid in response. Fiery Justice is good here. I just like didn't have another way to get Ascendancy, so I think it was worth getting that. I don't know, it's close. This does give them enough mana to activate their Gavany Township this turn. They have a Quarter Calling here. Yeah, I think they're just gonna have a touch too much interaction for us. I guess we could rip another Glittering Wish, then Fiery Justice clean up this board. There's far more money in writing about Magic and making videos and even streaming on Twitch. And even streaming on Twitch doesn't make a ton of money. But like compared to just like grinding, like the top prizes in Magic tournaments are really appealing. But then you have to consider that like the best players in the world only win, you know, 70% of their matches. And then, like, consider how many you're going to win and what your win rate... Like, even at 70% of your matches, do the math of what your odds are of top 8ing. Answer, low. Play my one spell for the turn. Take Opt so I can cast it on their turn. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I genuinely look at the 3 years I spent grinding the tour all the time, like that was me putting in my hours, right? Like I definitely wouldn't have the audience and the reach that I have here on Twitch today if I hadn't gained notoriety by spending all that time playing in STG events. Looks like we're just gonna be pretty dead here. I can't block because of Gavany Township, and then they're just gonna take 6. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and pack it in. We don't really have any draws. Second rule effect's gonna be a little bit too much for us, coupled with the Quasley Pride Mage and everything else. So we had actually 3 of our 4 pieces of anti-interaction there, but it just wasn't enough because they had like 5 pieces of interaction. I think we might have been able to steal game 1 if we hadn't missed our land drop and then lost a land drop to the fact that it was Gemstone Mine. Gone on Iron, good games. GG's. I mean, and like LSV is a prime example, right? Like LSV doesn't play in every Grand Prix, and he plays in every Pro Tour because he qualifies for those because he's Hall of Fame, but like he doesn't stream on Twitch. He has an actual job doing game design. So the Jeskai Ascendancy deck was originally a donation deck list that a viewer submitted, and I've been tuning and tweaking it to what I can see. I don't know, it depends on who you are, right? Like, if you're just like Caleb Durward almost certainly lives on doing Magic stuff full time, right? Between like his channel Fireball stuff and his streaming. But like, you know, not everyone is Caleb or Kenji. And like, even myself, I'm probably have more subscribers than like a good portion of the people that stream Magic on the regular. I'm very lucky to have that. No, not really, Speed. There's so much. The Magic content's kind of taken off, and it's just hard to justify taking time off of Magic content to do Hex stuff. It's just not. Magic is. I don't know that Magic's necessarily dwindling. I don't know that the growth curve might taper off, but I don't know that we ultimately have like less players than we had a year ago. I think the growth curve certainly died down. But I mean, like, Standard's just kind of been replaced by Modern, right? Is basically what it comes down to. Alright, I'm gonna play this Noble Hierarch, and by that I mean I'm gonna take a Fatal Push or whatever out of their hand, because it's certainly dead, but you're playing it out. So, if you're grinding a lot of Magic, you don't own Magic cards. And I know that might sound weird to people, but that's actually the truth. You just don't. You don't need to. You just like beg, borrow, and steal. Well, if they somehow don't have interaction here, we're gonna kill them most likely. A non-zero chance they die here. They said, oh boy, turn 2. So hopefully that bodes well for us. Another Ascendancy, another Glittering Wish. I don't want this. I think I'll take this. No, I can't make, no, I can make red mana off the Manamorphose. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna top that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use this on here. So before this Cerulean Wisp resolves, I want to float a mana here. So that, because this untaps my creature. And now Manamorphose allows me to turn. I actually need to draw a 1 mana spell here, right? I guess I can Glittering Wish if I don't draw a 1 mana spell. If I draw a 1 mana spell here, we're going to be off to the races. That's not a 1 mana spell. I get one more shot though. So I'm going to make blue white here on this. No, I need to make red, right? I need to make red white. 1 mana spell. That's a 1 mana spell. All right. I think it's just worse than more cantrips. Shadow of the Grave is the type of card that it's very good when you are comboing off, but it's not particularly good when you're not comboing off. So like when you're comboing, you generally don't need more help. So we'll do this. And again, our bottleneck here is kind of cards, so we'll go get cards with this. Wonder what they're playing. It's got to be something like Grishelbrand, right? Like, what are the odds they're on Mardu Pyromancer and don't have a Fatal Push or a Bolt? Which it really says something about lantern control that, like, I'm sitting here playing this deck and this is the more interesting deck. I wonder if they're planning on getting me. Maybe they have a piece of removal, but like if they had a piece of removal, they should have used it already, right? Okay, opponent's conceding. They figure they're dead at this point. I don't actually know what they're doing. Am I supposed to board in Leyline of Sanctity in the dark against them? Oh, we ended 3-2 Burgle. We lost to Bogles in the last match. Lost to Bogles. They had no interaction. Am I putting them on like Griselbrand? Like, if they're Griselbrand, the ley lines are really bad, right? And, like, my gut says they've got to be on some kind of variant like that, right? But, like, what did they keep that didn't have discard or removal in the top 2 cards? The Hollow One deck's an aggro deck. That would have done something, too. I think I'm going to trim these 4 for the ley lines. Maybe if they're an attrition-based deck, I cut 2 of my mana creatures. I've done that too, just like go down to the 10 mana creatures. Okay, I'm going to do this. Let's do this. But it has a ley line, chat. It has a ley line. Is in fact Mardu. Should have kept the hand with the ley line tilt. Should have kept the hand with the ley line. I don't think I can pass up this 6. It's a good draw. This deck sounds obnoxious in Frontier. I have no idea what they kept in that other game. Super confused. Well, I mean, we probably get to play a Jeskai Ascendancy next turn. I guess they could go double discard this turn. I could also potentially board it in Surgical Extraction. So, I feel like a lot of people just like, they've just been put off by Standard, right? Standard might be great now, but we've all gotten burned on Standard so much recently that it's just like, well, why am I going to bother? It's like, what if I just like commit again and it burns me again? It's like, what, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? I'm gonna start by casting Glittering Wish and see what we loot into. Ugh. Just getting Fiery Justice here. So yeah, any format can be an FNM format. I mean, I feel like a lot of the time people talk about things regarding magic like it's like water or food, like it's some kind of basic human right, when like the reality of the situation is that like Magic is a game made by Wizards of the Coast, which is a subsidiary of Hasbro, which are for-profit companies. Like, nobody's entitled to get to play a game of Magic. Maybe you think you are, but you're not. It is a luxury hobby that costs money, made by a company trying to turn a profit that has to report to their shareholders. It doesn't even do anything, right? They have a Fatal Push here. They're thinking about holding it for my... They're thinking about holding it for my Fatestitcher. So they must have multiple Fatal Pushes here, right? Or they just have a Bolt that they're going to finish me off with. Yeah, we're dead to Bolt. Go. Probably not going to be that person's favorite content creator more since we timed them out for mentioning MTGHQ. That dude's a blight. If I crack this fetch, I'm dead to K command, but I think that's still the line. I guess I don't have to be. I'm probably going to die to K command anyways, though, because they could just shock by Fatestitcher. I guess if I draw a 1-mana spell, that's not strictly true. Here. Oh, flip this into play. So I'm going to do this in response to this untap trigger. I'm going to try and untap this land. If they have a Terminate or anything like that, we're just dead here. Right. I can do this in response, see what we get. And we're timing people out for being dumb. And being, it's a newer, softer Hogland. We're timing people out for being dumb. We're only banning them for being aggressively dumb. Had the K command as well, okay. Oh wait, they shocked me, sure. That probably means we're just dead. I suppose there's a world where we hit another Fatestitcher here on this next loot. I should have untapped this. That was a mistake. So if I loot into a Fatestitcher here, could potentially continue going off. Well, I punted and I discarded that Ascendancy instead of this bird. Is that gonna bite me? How much mana do I have here? I can't use this fetch land because I'll die. I can't use this fetch land because we'll die. So Fatestitcher means I have 1, 2. If I take the Glittering Wish, I'm gonna have 3 mana, right? So I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I can draw cards with this. So we'll flip the Fatestitcher into play here. We'll untap this. It's gonna be tight, but we might be able to do this. I use this for white, cast Glittering Wish. Alright, the fact that we hit a 1 mana spell there means we might actually get them through all of this. This deck's a hoot. Let me tell you about things that are a hoot. This deck. Let me tell you about things. Let me tell you about things that are different. 1 and 0. Confirmed to be different health totals, in case anyone was wondering. Did I board out my Cerulean Wisps? I boarded out 1 Wisps. Alright, so untap this. You make me want to. This deck's a hoot. I like this deck a lot, just in case anyone was wondering. I could play this land, which means I could discard the Nagging Thoughts, but I don't think I want to discard the Nagging Thoughts yet. I probably do. Oh, I could Abundant Growth the fetch, which lets me keep this. Yeah, that's the line. That's the line. The line is Abundant Growth the fetch land. Good catch, chat. Which nets me a mana and lets me discard that card. So now I get to play the Sleight of Hand, which lets me untap and then loot. I think I'm just looting this away for now. I'm trying to find a Manamorphose. I guess Noxious Revival lets me put Manamorphose on top of my deck. Well, let's me put an Ascendancy on top of my deck, actually, but I don't have 3 mana. I'm just gonna take this opt and just keep chaining. So our bottleneck this game is mana. And in order to get past that bottleneck, we need a Manamorphose or a Cerulean Wisp, because those cards allow us to jump amounts of mana. Because they take 1 or 2 mana in and output 1 more than that, ultimately, with the Jeskai Ascendancy in play. We should be pretty good here, I think, though. There's a Manamorphose. Perfect. So let's go top here. I'm going to go ahead and untap this. And now that Manamorphose is going to let me, when I cast it, it's going to let me jump from having 2 mana here with this Flooded Strand in order to having 3 mana once it resolves. We have to go ahead and do this, and then this. Try to do not click the fetch button there. I'm not going to loot here because I know the top card of my deck and I want to draw it. I'm going to make blue mana, make white mana, opt resolve, Glittering Wish. That doesn't really do much for me, right? I'm just looking for more Manamorphose at this point. Actually, not really looking for Nagging Thoughts, right? I suppose I could Noxious Revival something here. I said I'm looking for Manamorphose, so that lets me Manamorphose. Puts Manamorphose in my hand, and then I can untap this, and I can go green plus this white. Now that I have this mana for Manamorphose, I can actually go ahead and use this Nagging Thoughts when I discard here. We'll untap this, and then we'll draw a discard. And it looks like we're running a little bit low on cards here, but actually we've got plenty, right? So we've got 3 cards in the bank on the stack. And I'm not going to go ahead and loot here because I want the only card that's in my hand. So I'm only going to loot if there's cards in my hand that I don't want. And now I have a Cerulean Wisp. Yep. Yeah, we're basically home free at this point. So make green, make blue. Yeah, that's fine. It's just, at this point, we can't brick. We're just going through the motions here. Just going through the motions. GG's opponent. Opponent knows that we are just going through the motions and concedes. If you want to read more about this sweet deck, I have an article on it on gatheringmagic.com. It's a deck I've been working on since someone sent it as a donation list earlier last month. If you're enjoying what you see, welcome. If you're new, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic the Gathering on this channel every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well. If you're enjoying what you see, please make sure you hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps other people find my stuff. If you're really enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. Spanky the Pro. I'm gonna hold tight, and we're gonna get a short reserve list rant here. SCG and Channel Fireball do not support the reserve list. Large companies like SCG and Channel Fireball, they make a profit by doing lots of small sales on liquid inventory. You know what is not a liquid inventory? $400 underground seas are not liquid inventory. Star City Games and Channel Fireball would make far more money if they could crack reserve list cards out of booster packs and sell dozens or hundreds of them rather than the very small number that they sell for very small profit margins. That's the truth. Those companies are anti-reserve list. That's just like, it's kind of a fallacy. You know, it's like, you hear that, I hear people say that all the time, and it's like the smaller game stores that are like sitting on power, like they should be sitting on stocks or bonds. Those stores aren't run by good business people. Good business people know that they turn profits by having liquid inventories. At any rate, good business people like MTGO traders, they buy and sell lots of Magic Online cards because that's how they turn a profit, doing lots of sales. If you want to buy Magic Online cards, do it with them and use code Hoagland. PayPal there to save 8% of your singles orders. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you could save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And InkedGaming.com, they'd love to help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats, mousepads, sleeves, binders, so you can really do it all. Upload your own custom arc or choose from the wide range of arcs that they have on their website. We are 1-1 with the Jeskai Ascendancy deck, heading on into our third match here. We're going to play at least one more league after this tonight. We'll see how long they take. Usually we do a late stream on Fridays. We also started a little bit late today, though, because Declan was sick. That smooth transition, though. The segue rant into advertising is something I've been working on. I think you might not have died if you would have saved the Culligan's command. I think using the Culligan's command the way you did was a little bit aggressive at the end there. This hand's pretty good. It's got a mana creature and some cantrips. Always a fan of a good old Hoagland rant. Full Metal Adept, thanks for the bits. I appreciate that. I do appreciate those. Thank you very much. Gonna lead on. Actually, I'm just gonna fetch Breeding Pool on one here, so that way any cards I bottom stay on the bottom. Yeah, I like the Jeskai Ascendancy deck a lot too. And that's part of the reason why I've been playing it so much. Like, my win rate with it is a little bit over, probably close to 60% right now, which is respectable. It's not like super impressive, but it's fine. But it's so much fun to play. I just am enjoying running it over and over again. Sliver Hive. What in tarnation? Gale Rider Sliver. Alright. Alrighty. Play Sylvan Caryatid here, probably play Bird next turn. I'm rooting for the OP, sorry, Jeff. I understand, chat. I understand. Opponent wants it. They certainly they're hungry for it. They are certainly hungry for it. Jeskai Ascendancy so we can kill them, please. Tilt. How unfortunate. Lead on Serum Visions here. Man, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna go top here. Visions into another vision, just like digging for an Ascendancy. Wow, that's bad. I'm probably gonna be dead before this can run out of counters, so let's just do this. Holy God. Well then. Yeah, go ahead. Sometimes your 7 of isn't in... What, we bottomed 6, 7 cards there? So we've seen 21 cards. We are going to do our best not to crack these fetch lands. The problem is, we're probably dead next turn, right? Yeah, we're probably dead next turn. I need to rip Ascendancy like this draw step. I guess I could chump block with the bird next turn. Wow. Make blue-white with this. Wow. Yeah, I guess I hope that blocking with this bird lets me not die. But we just bought him 2 more cards there. We bought him 9 cards. So we're through 19, so there hasn't been a Glittering Wish or a Jeskai Ascendancy in 28 cards. Man. It's kind of rough. You know, So yeah, immortal with the truth. Holy shit. There was one, finally. I'll board in a couple of paths, I guess. And remember, yeah, we're not just looking for 4 Jeskai Ascendancies either. We had 4 copies of Glittering Wish on top of these 3 that could have hit. So it's 7 hits, and we got through like 35 cards. We left those cards in our deck, right? Were they there? Did you verify? Hyper Geo says 99.9% to hit. I'd believe that. I feel like we're pretty likely to hit. You know, them's the beats. Live by the sword, die by the sword. We turned 2-1 last match, right? So that's pretty unlikely to happen. Sometimes you hit that 0.01%. Hand has Ascendancy in the opener. Has to be a keep. It's unfortunate that neither of these are a cantrip or mana creature. I'm just going to take the path. 100% won't fight it. You're not. That's what it's looking like, right? Yeah, but Noxious Revival Sleight of Hand costs us a card and only lets us see 1 more card, so I don't think that's really worthwhile. A blue-black sliver, diffusion sliver. Alright. Well, I guess this is worse than Abrupt Decay. White, red, blue. The good news is, and this is why it's kind of nice when you don't have a mana creature. Yeah, so Burgle, actually, here's what I'm going to talk about, Burgle. So when you have Jeskai Ascendancy, you get to loot with every card you play. So you find mana dorks very quickly. This is a Harmonic Sliver. First, it's a fucking Harmonic Sliver. I deserve this. I deserve this. Okay, so we get to path this Harmonic Sliver. They've got their meat hooks in us, chat. They've got their meat hooks in us. We're getting hooked in. I pat this now so they can't make a mana with it in response. It makes me pay 2 extra mana, so that's why I didn't play the Ascendancy and path it. They're holding up mana. Okay. Oh, am I supposed to? I'm gonna put the Sleight of Hand on top of my deck and just start drawing some cards here. I might concede to another Harmonic Sliver. I just don't think I have it in me. They have a Naturalize or something here. Yeah, I just don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. Let's go on to the next one. I don't have the heart to play through that much disruption after the demoralizing first game where we were 99.97% to hit and died. Sometimes you just gotta shake it off, in the words of a great philosopher, and carry on. One team played much harder. Ain't that the truth, Burgle? Ain't that the truth? One team played much harder. Hey, Burgle, are you going to be hanging out in chat? If you're going to be hanging out in chat, I'll play the Mardu deck after this league. That's actually fine, right? Lets me dig a lot towards a green Sorceress Caryatid. Probably Full Metal Adept, you know the usual. Perfect. I actually want both of these lands, right? So I'm gonna stack the Breeding Pool on top so I can draw the Flooded Strand too. For oh, Fridays with Burgle. This matchup's probably hard. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. I'm pretty sure that I'm not playing this deck in Indianapolis. The top eight of the GP in Toronto is gonna have to be super linear for me to want to play this deck. I think this deck is good against the other linear decks, and it's pretty bad against the non-linear decks. Playing Blood Moon, deal. Cast my other Sylvan Caryatid. Remove Kaiba. So now we have to race them flipping these things, which might be difficult. If we draw Jeskai Ascendancy this turn, we might be able to, but if we don't... Hey-oh! Alright, so we need them to not be able to cast 3 spells next turn. They actually can't. I don't have a Manamorphose or a red spell here. So if they don't cast 3 spells next turn, we should be able to kill them. I guess they could potentially go like Basic Island, Cryptic Bounce, but hopefully they just can't cast 3 spells this turn. This was for your donation, Project Swamp. How's it going? And thank you for that. We're currently 1-2 in this league. We got some meat hooks sunk into us. Using my called shot powers for good here, right? My called shot powers for profit. GG! Alright, so we'll go ahead and play the Glittering Wish here. Well, it'll be up on YouTube as always. It'll be up on the YouTubes as always. In all of its wonder. Its wonder and splendor. Floop this out as long as you're not miserable. This deck is fun to play. I enjoy playing this deck. Nice Blood Moon. It's a good thing my opponent played Blood Moon in order to punish my greedy mana base. Because if there's any mana base that deserves to be punished, it's the 5-color pile of mush that we're playing. Oh wait, my opponent's going to lose this game that they cast Blood Moon, because Blood Moon only punishes fair decks. It doesn't punish decks that are actually greedy. We have so much mana at this point. I'm gonna set my Fatestitcher, start diddling their things. Hey, diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. I think it depends on how linear the... It depends on the GP results, is actually the TLDR. The TLDR is it's going to depend on the GP results. I think this deck's way more interesting than Storm. It was funny, I've had people ask me like why I find this deck amusing, but I don't really enjoy Storm. And the answer to that is Storm kind of just does the same thing every game, right? There's no puzzle in it for me. I want to solve a puzzle when I play a game of Magic with a combo deck. I don't just want to like put my mana creature into play, cast my Gifts Ungiven, and have them deterministically be dead. If Tron has a good showing in Toronto, I think this deck's a great choice. And it feels like Tron's time might be drawing near. I'm gonna diddle their Blood Moon just to prove a point. And that point is their Blood Moon is silly and it didn't do anything. Yeah, the heavily interactive decks are very good against this deck. The deck's like with 8 pieces of discard in them. This deck is by no means unbeatable. It's like most combo decks in Modern, right? Like when it draws well, it's amazing. Oops, should have floated there. Hey, consider this my monthly $2.50 for future Lantern streams. Gross. Get out of here. I want to be above the board. We will never play Lantern on this channel again for amounts of money that are less than like, I don't know, probably 4 digits. I thought $100 a league was enough. I was wrong. We played 3, and then 2 people that sent in large donations said use their donations for other things. This is actually one of those other things. God bless Swamp. And then I sent back 100 of the dollars. So 2 people were like, keep some of it, and then I cashed some of it back out. Just because it wasn't worth it. Alright, so just gotta attack one more time here. I get to attack them with these 2 really large Fatestitchers. This is such an honest deck we're playing. It just like wins by attacking with creatures. I am, in fact, I've been released from jail and it feels great. Good clean attack you for 20. GG! And actually, so one of the things I did when configuring the current sideboard of this deck is I actually don't have any cards to board in against a deck based around counterspells. I have 4 copies of Leyline for decks that are playing discard, and I have Path to Exile and Abrupt Decay for decks that are playing permanent-based disruption, but I just have this Guttural Response. The archive from earlier tonight is uploading to YouTube now, and we talked about changes I would make to that deck at the end of that video, things that I liked, things that I was unsure of. Someone's gonna pay you $1,000 to play a league. Look, for $1,000 I will play a league. That's fine. If someone hates their money and me that much, more power to them. So we stole game 1. That's good for us. Hopefully that means we can pick off one of these next 2 games, especially game 3 when we're on the play. Just get a quick start. Previous iterations of this deck, if you've been following my work, played Silence, which are good in these matchups, but I think even with Silence, these matchups are hard, so I'm not sure I love it. This hand is very good. This hand could actually threaten a turn 2 win if they like tap out for Thing in the Ice on 2. We need to draw some 1-mana spells, but if they tap out for Thing in the Ice and we hit the right couple of cards, we could win on turn Good one on turn 2 here. So the turn 2 kill is Bird into Jeskai Ascendancy, Noxious Revival to get comboing. That's a relic, yep, don't care about that one. We do care about this bolt, yep, that's sad. I'm just gonna put this bird on top of my deck. I want to draw another bird anyways, so this guarantees puts a bird on top of my deck, right? Hey, wifey. I wonder if they have Blood Moon in their deck still. Nope, Snap Bolt. That makes sense. Gross. If we brick on a land next turn, I'll probably cast Manamorphose trying to find it. Ding, ding, ding. So sticking Jeskai Ascendancy is kind of a big deal, because usually the straight blue-red decks can't take it off the table outside of like a Cryptic bounce, and that's expensive and temporary. So Relic of Progenitus does turn off our Fatestitchers. We are capable of winning without Fatestitcher, but if they're able to keep our board clear of mana creatures, the Relic could have a meaningful impact on this game. Do I just play this other Ascendancy? I kind of do, right? Maybe I just want to loot it away, actually. Yeah, I'm going to lead on this, see what we do, see what they do. Yes, that tax return is an interest-free. That is completely correct. I'm going to go ahead and get Guttural Response here. Or have that one in the bank for a rainy day. We're at 11, so there is kind of some onus on us to be able to find a mana creature quickly here, while the Snapcaster Mage beats us down. Looking for Sylvan Caryatid basically at this point. Alright, so that means I'm just going to pass the turn, right? Because I don't want to just play Sylvan Caryatid out into a possible counterspell here. I want to be able to Guttural Response to protect it. Oh, the Revival lets me put a Fatestitcher back on top of my deck? Oh, that's interesting. We're actually going to be dead to a Bolt here, right? Because I get to play this Caryatid out, but then I can only block one of those, and I'm going to go to 3 then. They don't have a Bolt, and they only have 1 counterspell. We could maybe win the game. They definitely have bolts in their deck still. I think I'm going to counter this. If they have Spell Snare, they get us either way, and this way they get to draw 1 less card. Because again, we're going to die to a Bolt. So, dead to Bolt, dead to Spell Snare. Dead to Dispel too. I guess we wouldn't have been dead to Dispel if I hadn't Guttural Response. Something to think about. Fine, we get to play game 3 on the play here. Evening, Big Mama. Sounds okay. Huh. I guess, if they kill our bird, this is probably a Noxious Revival the Misty Rainforest back to the top of our deck hand. So don't be afraid to do that. Our deck is a low land count, so if you need to guarantee your land drop, guarantee your land drop. And actually, I think I just want to guarantee my land drop even without the bird dying here. Yeah, I think I want to just guarantee my land drop even without the bird dying here. If I don't Guttural Response and I just let the remand resolve, I could just replay the Caryatid and they can't dispel the Caryatid. Yeah, I wish there was something like Sweet and Fair to put that card in, but it just really feels like there's not. Hey, J Muscleman, 7-month resubscription. It's a lot and welcome back, bud. I appreciate that as always. Subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here. Alright, well that land means I get to go Glittering Wish for Ascendancy, Stick Ascendancy. And I have a Sylvan Caryatid in play, so now I just need to hope not to brick off on spells. You could just never draw another non-creature spell and die, but we're definitely a strong favorite to win from here. Famous last words. Oh, God. Cantrip, cantrip, cantrip. That's kind of a cantrip. The good anger of the goods. We need to draw some 1-mana spells here. 1-mana spells. Manamorphose. Yeah, Manamorphose is actually pretty good, right? So, I think I just go for it here. Our odds aren't getting better. So I'm gonna make green, make blue. Opt isn't bad. Untap. This, yeah, and this is where we try and figure out can we get through this with the resources that we have. Will we fizzle out? Alright, Glittering Wish. Huh, what does Glittering Wish let us do? I actually need to jump up. I need to jump up another mana in order for that to be useful, right? Because I can't... Cards are my choke point, and this could eventually get us more cards with Scarscale Ritual, but I need to be able to... Yeah, so I need to hit Manamorphose or Cerulean Wisps or Noxious Revivals at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and make blue here. Then untap this. Guess this. Could brick off and die here. Oop, I'll keep that one. Wait, I do have enough, right? Yeah, I actually have 3. I'm incorrect. I don't have enough mana. I do have enough mana. Yeah, because this untaps. Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Hogland. He's an idiot. It's fine. I got there right about the same time, chat, that I was like looking and counting. I was like, oh, wait. Oh, wait. That Hogland. Lost to Meat Hooks might win our bad matchup. That would be sweet. We're definitely not out of the woods yet. We need some Noxious Revival or some Cerulean Wisps for our other Fatestitcher, but we're in an okay spot currently. Don't want that. I think I do want this opt. Yeah. I don't want this Glittering Wish at this point because my bottleneck is mana, so having a 2-mana spell doesn't help me with that. Noxious Revival is exactly what I need. So now I get to go ahead and put this on tap. So Noxious Revival generates us an extra mana because it's able to put a card, we pay health for it. Do I want to draw any of these other cards that are in my discard pile? I really don't, right? I want Cerulean Wisps at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and put Serum Visions on top of their deck and just draw random. Just looking for that Fatestitcher at this point. Is Manamorphose great? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. I might brick. We have 2 shots at drawing a 1 or 2 mana spell here. Oh god. Oh god. Should have taken the Manamorphose. It would have generated us mana, which would have let us cast this Jeskai Ascendancy. It also would have gotten us an extra loot in there, probably. We did it! Tilt. What a tilt. Alright. We were so close. We were so close. Just had just slightly too few resources to go off there with just the Fatestitcher, unfortunately. So, kind of a tough run. Kind of a tough run. Alright. Alright, we came, we tried, we blew our load.